Hello everyone, I thought I would do a video using my Labyrinth Through Time, and I'm just going to ask our Labyrinth just a couple of questions. So I thought, why not, let's do a video for it. So Labyrinth Through Time is a divination system that I developed a few years ago now, and I was so much faith in this that I've trademarked Labyrinth Through Time, specifically the name, because I know this is big, and it covers about 5 or 6 different divination systems all in a one-stop kit. So it comes in a tin, and it has a very extensive booklet. And with this purchase of this, you also get put into a 45-minute video course. It goes through exactly really what's in the book here, but if you're like me and don't sit down and study anything, it's like look at the instructions last. The video is a good visual for instructions. So in the tin, we have cards. So I'll go through and show you what the goodies are. So, we have cards that are in here, and there is 25 picture cards and 11 word cards. I'll go through those after. We have a mat, and the mat is made of spandex, and it's a reversible mat, and we've got the option. I put the option in here whether you wanted to either purchase charms or you don't. So in here is my 50 set starter kit as well as my add-on kit. That is optional. Also comes with a pendulum, and it's a beautiful amethyst pendulum. And I've left it purposely on a necklace because a lot of people like to wear their pendulums. So an amethyst was chosen because of its properties. And you also have a 12-sided dice. So there's several different ways you can use this. So I'm just going to go through one particular way to use it just for today. And I'm asking a question about myself, and I have recently had some back surgery, and I've got what they call a spinal cord stimulator. So it's some electrodes going up through my spinal cord, hooked up to a battery pack that's inserted in my lower back, and I feel a bit like a cell phone because I have to sit on a charger every day to stay charged, just like a cell phone. And I have had a couple of problems with it, and I'm a little scared. Is it going to work for me, and whether I'll need further surgery? So I have had a few hiccups with the surgery. So I'll show you how we use the labyrinth for a specific question like so. I'm going to start by going through my charms, and you don't look, and you place one charm in the center. And we start in the center, and this is why I've called this a labyrinth, because we're starting in the center and we are working out. So we're going in the outer rings. Rather than going from the outside in, we're coming from the inside out. So we're exploring the information. So the key is about, the very first thing is what's unlocking, or what do I need to do to unlock or release. We've got the Peacock Charm. Peacock is about standing tall in my power and learning to address things, but with head held high. It does often mean don't be too proud if there is something wrong, because it often is about stand tall and stand proud. So that's my first symbol. I'm then going to do a small scatter, and like I said, because we're working in the circles, I'm starting in the inner circle, then I'm going to the next circle, and then the outer circle. So this here, the clock, we use numbers as timing, so you can use them as in 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, or you can use your clock numbers in numerology energy if you know or understand numerology, which I do. So I'm going to do a little sprinkle of charms in the center. So I've got the lighthouse here, which is about illumination. What is it, again, that I must look at? So think of a lighthouse and what its actual action is, which means it's a spotlight. It's a guide to safety so you don't hit rough waters. Not a bad symbol for my particular question. It is between the 1 and the 2. Now, with my type of question, I am looking at a short time frame, not a long time frame. So there would tell me something comes to light in the next couple of weeks. Down here, we've got the kisses, which is kiss, hug, and it's on the man. We've got a dinosaur and a dragon, and the dragon's more on the number 7, dinosaurs on the number 8, and the telephone. So the kiss hugs is the embrace, and it can be, though, a symbol of somebody who's very flippant. It's almost like they brush you off. Think of the Hollywood kisses where you've got the kisses but they're false. So it can be, who is going to brush me off? And we've got it on a man. Now that could be my doctor. I don't think so because he's actually really lovely. But there again, I must be more aware and not to be brushed off or pushed aside with something that is flippant. The dragon here is sitting on the number 7. Dragon is about power and, again, fear and feeling scared. All of those problems could come up because of the way I'm actually feeling. And then I do need to make sure that I'm not feeling so afraid or so scared with that type of problem. The number 7 in its numerology is a very analytical number, so it's deeply spiritual, but it means getting to the bottom of the problem. So perfectionism, are my expectations are 100%, I want this worked and cured? I would hope so after what I've gone through. So it's don't be scared, don't be fearful, but I do need to get to the bottom of the problem. The 7 in its timing can literally mean may take up to 7 weeks. I'm only at 3rd week at this moment. The dinosaur is about lessons of the past. It often means, yes, I've gone through things that are very painful from over a long period of time. We've got it on the number 8, which 8 is a beautiful sign of abundance, which is a nice one. And we've also got it on the telephone. So the telephone is about discussions and expression and things that, yes, I may need to say. So that can be, I may need to speak up of things that have been going on for a long period of time. So even looking at this little cluster, it tells me something that will come to light that has been going on for some time. They do need to hear me for what I've got to say and not to brush me off lightly. So now I'm going to do a second scatter around the outer circles. So you don't need a lot. Half the battle with this is people grab a handful of charms. You do not need a handful of charms. So I'll start up here. We've got the mushroom and we've also got the heartbeat sitting on the letter J. Letters are a name, person, place or thing. So the J could be a place that I need to go. It can be something to do with the problem that I've got. The mushroom is a health symbol and I've got the heartbeat on there. So I'd look at those and say literally the stress that I am going through is the problem. The letter J is what we call in numerology a number 1 energy as well, which can be 1 is about self. But it means, again, are my expectations too high? Is it that I'm wanting to push things too far? And there it's probably true because I struggle to sit down because I've got ADHD. So I can see where the stress and the problems are affecting me and my health. The cross on the cherries, I don't like that because a cross in symbology, literally in health, means the spine. And I've got it on the cherries, which means usually duality. So it does often mean, is it just the problem that I've got now or is there another problem that's popping up? I don't like that one. The boot here on the house, boot is literally kick myself up the pants. It means get on with your stuff, Karen, and stop laying about. But I don't lay about and it may be the problem. But it often means step up. Around the house, I can't literally step up around the house at this stage because of the issues with my spine. So right up around here, we've got the candles. The candles is on the dollar sign. So dollar sign is often about money. I've been lucky, I've got very good health insurance, so I haven't paid out thousands and thousands for $45,000 surgery. I actually haven't paid that, thank goodness, for insurance. So the candle does tell me something else I need to look at. And dollar signs is not always about the money itself. It is about multiples of things. Candles there would tell me looking at multiple areas. Dollar sign is usually multiple areas of good things, not multiple areas of bad. So even looking here, I can see there is some stress I've got here, but it's really important that they hear me. It does tell me something is coming to light in the next couple of weeks and they need to hear me. So this is where we can use our cards. Now these cards, these are all the images that's on the mat, both sides. So I'm just going to have a little shuffle and I'll draw some cards because there's a couple of areas here I want to have a look at. And one of them is the problem area where I'm seeing the cherries with the cross. So I'm just drawing a couple of cards. So the dollar sign again is about multiple areas, but they are good. Rose here is usually feminine energy, but it does mean, again, display something that is visual more than anything. So I look at that and say, the problems, yes, maybe too, but they will see the problem. I like it because it tells me it's not something that's hidden underground, which is very, very important. So another area I wouldn't mind our cards on, though, is up here in the stress points. So man and telephone. Those with the stress points, I can't help but think I really need for the doctor, the surgeon, to listen to what I've got to say. That's really, really vital for me. I can go in and draw another couple of charms if I want on that area. I've got bells and I've got broom. So the broom again means I must not be brushed aside. Bells is again communication. It's almost like I need to tell him, will you shut up and listen to what I have to say? Mind you, I wouldn't say that to him in that terms, but I need to be firm in how I express myself there. When we have our pendulums are brilliant if you are looking for yes and no. And my areas of yes and no is particularly here with the cross. And I'm just going to use my pendulum because I want to see if I've got any yes or no. So I'm just going to hold it so you can see my pendulum. I'll just move it here. Now my yeses swing anti-clockwise, my no's go clockwise. So my question here is there a problem? And that's given me a very strong yes. I didn't want to hear that. So here you are, you see it yourself. I'm actually going to try my non-dominant hand. So is there a problem? It's still telling me a yes. So I've tried both here, non-dominant and dominant. Is this something they can fix by programming? I know that sounds ridiculous, but let's see if it says they'll fix it by programming. I'm getting a vertical swing, which means uncertain. Okay, I will rephrase the question then. Do I need further surgery? No. Oh, thank goodness for that. Okay, so I'll ask again, is it just some tweaking on the programming? Yes. Whew. Thank goodness for that, because I really don't want to go back under the knife. So this is pretty good reading, but what I'm getting out of this, though, is very much is they must listen to what I've got to say. So that's a little bit about our Labyrinth Through Time, and that's using the alphabet side of the mat when you're asking a specific question. I've done other videos on using this mat, and there's all sorts of goodies because this mat here is fantastic when you want messages from loved ones who have passed over, and we use this side for that. And this side of the mat is what I call my life wheel, and my life wheel covers the 8 sections of general well-being. You know, if you are doing readings, short readings, you can do just a general scatter. You can go through and put a couple of charms on each place. If you don't want to use charms, you can actually even use your cards, and you'll say, okay, in home and family, and you can read them around like this. Or you can actually mix it up and then go through and put a charm on everyone as well. So there's so many options on how to use this system. So you're not just stuck in one. I also developed for this system a beautiful teacup to match. And I'll just show you the teacup. So this is the beautiful teacup, and what it is, it's the same life wheel that we have, and all these symbols are the same symbols that's in the mat, and it's in a beautiful stunning white with gold. And the reason I did the saucer like this as well, and you can buy just the teacup on its own if you don't want the other, but I did it so you can actually use your saucer as a casting mat as such. And these are permanent. These are not going to scratch off. You can scratch until your heart's desires and they ain't going to move. So you can actually use this as a casting mat as well. So it's great too, because when you drink your tea and you invert your cup, your leaves that land on your saucer, you can also read those sections as well. So it's a beautiful, beautiful teacup, and that matches the entire set. So these are other cards that you have. These are word cards, and I've got them in so you can actually lay them out if you don't want to use a mat, where I've got pros and cons, 3 months, 6 months, 12, what is hidden, further advice, do this, don't do this, and hopes and fears. So that's the Labyrinth Through Time in a nutshell, and you've just seen me do a reading about a specific subject matter. Someone asked me the other day and said, what's the dice for, Karen? The dice is done for timings. It's really, really good if you were asking a question. Like part of the timings, I would look at this and say, when will the problem settle? I've got down 1, which would tell me within the next week to 1 month. You can use the dice also as numerology energy. So I've got a number 10 up there, 1 and 0. Well, 10 is completions of cycles, and it's about renewal. 1 is the renewal, means zest of new life. It does mean independent self, ambition, original. So it's also on its negative though, is don't be too hasty in pushing things where I am just push like crazy. So that's how we use Labyrinth. Thanks for listening.